हाय फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू सिफ्टेक सिंप्लीफाइड। मेरा नाम इंजीनियर इमरान अजीज है और मैं आपको अपने चैनल पे खुशामदीद कहता हूं। स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल पार्ट 6 में आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे 25 मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस जो कि स्टार्ट होंगे क्वेश्चन नंबर 101 से 125 तक। काफी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस हैं गेट एग्जाम की प्रिपरेशन के लिए और एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ जॉब इंटरव्यू या यूनिवर्सिटी टेस्ट के लिए। सो इस वीडियो को मुकम्मल एंड तक देखिए और वीडियो को लाइक करें, शेयर करें और सिफ्टेक सिंप्लीफाइड को सब्सक्राइब करें। सो लेट मी शेयर माई स्क्रीन जहाँ पे एक प्रेजेंटेशन के थ्रू आपके साथ ये क्वेश्चन शेयर किए जाएंगे और फर्दर हम इनको डिस्कस करेंगे। स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल पार्ट 6 में आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे 25 एमसीक्यूज जो कि 101 से स्टार्ट होंगे और 125 तक हम इनको फर्दर लेके चलेंगे। So question number 101 says that the point of contraflexure is a point where option A shear force changes sign, option B bending moment changes sign, C shear force is maximum, number D bending moment is maximum. So point of contraflexure वो होता है जहाँ पे bending moment अपना sign change करती है. So B is the correct answer. 102 when shear force at a point is 0 then bending moment is dash at that point. जब भी shear force 0 होगा so bending moment ultimately maximum होगा. So C is the correct answer. 103 in a simply supported beam carrying a uniformly distributed load W per unit length, the point of contraflexure at option A lies in the center of the beam, B lies at the ends of the beam, C depends upon the length of the beam, D does not exist. Simply supported beam जहाँ पे W weight हो per unit length के ऊपर distributed हो, so point of contraflexure वहां पे नहीं होगा. So D is the correct answer. When there is a sudden increase or decrease in shear force diagram between any 2 points, it indicates that there is option A point load at 2 points, option B no loading between the 2 points, C uniformly distributed load between the 2 points, D uniformly varying load between the 2 points. जब sudden increase या decrease हो shear force में तो आप समझ जाएं कि point load is applied at 2 points. So A is the correct answer. Point of contraflexure भी point load के केस में होगा. 105 when the shear force diagram between any 2 points is an inclined straight line, it indicates that there is a uniformly varying load between the 2 points. Option A is yes, B is no. So yes, it is true. A is the correct answer. 106 when there is no increase or decrease in shear force between 2 points, it indicates that there is no change in bending moment between these points. Yes, this is also true. अगर shear force में कोई increase या decrease नहीं है, so it means that there is no change in the bending moment. So A is the correct answer. When their shear force diagram is a parabolic curve between 2 points, it indicates that there is a option A point load at 2 points, B no loading between 2 points, C uniformly distributed load between 2 points, D uniformly varying load between 2 points. So shear force का जब parabolic curve आता है तो it means uniformly varying load is there between 2 points. So D is the correct answer for this question. 108 which of the following statement is correct? Option A a continuous beam has only 2 supports at the ends. Option B a uniformly distributed load spreads uniformly over the whole length of a beam. C the bending moment is maximum where shear force is maximum. D the bending moment of a simply supported beam of length L with central point load of W is WL by 8. B is the correct answer for this question. A uniformly distributed load spreads uniformly over the whole length of a beam. B is the correct answer. 109. In a beam where shear force changes sign, the bending moment will be option A 0, B minimum, C maximum, D infinity. So C is the correct answer. जहाँ पे shear force sign change करे तो it means bending moment is maximum. Number 10. Point of contraflexure occurs in option A cantilever beam, simply supported beam, overhanging beam, C, D fixed beam. So overhanging beam is the correct answer. 111. The bending moment at a section tends to bend or deflect the beam and the internal stresses resists its bending. The resistance offered by the internal stresses to the bending is called option A compressive stress, B shear stress, C. Bending stress. D. Elastic modulus. C is the correct answer. It is called bending stress. 112. The assumption generally made in the theory of simple bending is that option A. The beam material is perfectly homogeneous and isotropic. Beam material is stressed within its elastic limit. The plane section before bending remains plane after bending. All of the above. So ये तमाम options correct हैं. Therefore D is the correct answer. In the simple bending theory, one of the assumption is that the material of the beam is isotropic. The assumption means that option A. Normal stress remains constant in all directions. B. Normal stress varies linearly in the material. C. Elastic constants are same in all directions. Elastic constant varies linearly in the material. So C is the correct answer. Elastic constants are same in the all directions. 114. In a simple bending of beam, the stress in the beam varies. Option A. Linearly, parabolically, hyperbolically, elliptically. In a simple bending beam, stress in the beam varies linearly. A is the correct answer. 115. In a simple bending theory, one of the assumptions is that the plane section before bending remains plane after the bending. Assumption means that D is the correct answer. Strain is proportional to the distance from the neutral axis. 116. When a beam is subjected to a bending moment, the strain in a layer is dash the distance from the neutral axis. Option A equal to, B directly proportional to, C inversely proportional to, D independent. So that is B is the correct answer, directly proportional to. 117. A section of beam is said to be in pure bending if it is subjected to, C is the correct answer, constant bending moment and zero shear force. 118. When a beam is subjected to bending moment, the stress at any point is dash the distance of point from the neutral axis, equal to, B directly proportional to, inversely proportional to, independent. So stress is directly proportional to the distance of the point from the neutral axis. 119. The line of intersection of a neutral layer with any normal cross section, the beam is called neutral axis. That is true. 20. The neutral axis of cross section of a beam is that axis at which the bending stress is zero. A is the correct answer. 121. The neutral axis of symmetrical beam does not pass through the centroid of the beam. Disagree. It passes through the centroid of the beam. 22. The bending stress in a beam is dash section modulus. It is inversely proportional or directly proportional. The bending stress in a beam is inversely proportional to the sectional modulus. 123. Two beams, one of circular cross section and the other is square cross section, have equal area of cross section. When these beams are subjected to bending, so A. Both beams are equally economical. B. Square beam is more economical. Circular beam is more economical. D. None of these. So B is the correct answer. Square beam is more economical. 24. In a beam of uniform stress, the bending stress developed is constant and is equal to the allowable stress at every section of the beam. It is true. A is the correct answer. When a cantilever beam is loaded at its free end, the maximum compressive stress shall develop at option A. Bottom fiber, B. Top fiber, C. Neutral axis, D. Center of gravity. It will develop at bottom fiber. So friends, ये था हमारा आज का लेक्चर जिसमें हमने 25 MCQs आपके साथ शेयर किए स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल में स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 101 टू 125। आई होप आपने इनसे लर्निंग डेवलप की होगी। इस तरह की मजीद वीडियोस के लिए CivTech सिंप्लीफाइड को सब्सक्राइब करें, इस वीडियो को लाइक करें और अपनी कम्युनिटी में जरूर शेयर करें ताकि ज्यादा से ज्यादा इंजीनियर्स को हेल्प आउट करे। सो मिलते हैं अगले पार्ट में जहां पे हम मजीद 25 MCQs आपके साथ डिस्कस करेंगे। तो तब तक के लिए अपना ख्याल रखें। थैंक यू वेरी मच एंड हैव अ गुड डे।